How do you make things make sense without dialogue, Ursula?
Uh, you have to really, one, you have to be really expressive with like your characters. You also have to be really, I feel like you have to choose subject matter that you can show through just visuals.
Also, an important thing to remember is there is a visual language.
Yes.
There is a language to visuals. Visuals mean things. They have meanings because of previous uses throughout history,
Exactly.
Like different colors have different meanings, like different shapes have different meanings. There's like visuals have language, and
Yes.
comics create kind of like pace through that as well. Ursula, take it away with more information on the visual language and how to use it. Like, what are some examples of that?
Some examples would be like, like camera angles, like how you present, like how you look at your subject matter. So like if you're looking at it from above, it makes the subject look really small and like intimidated or scared. Whereas like if you have your camera below, then the subject can look big and imposing and scary.
Mhm.
With shape language, for example, like designs for characters and buildings and all that stuff. Like if it's very like pointy and jagged, like it can mean like
Evil,
evil,
sharp.
villainous, cunning. Like there's a reason like people make foxes out of triangles a lot for really like stylized foxes.
Hmm.
Um,
But if you make a little round fox, he's soft and cute. Ooh woo.
it will.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, where circles are more like soft and approachable. Squares are very sturdy, things like that.
You can learn a lot about telling stories by learning a lot about like animation and film. Like, don't take everything from
Yeah.
them, because you can there's people who move from animation to comics and tend to lose some of what comics is, what makes comics unique. um like with animation, you're showing every single still, every single movement, like, it's like all the in-betweens and all the this and that. Whereas comics, you have to pick what moments in time are important. Like that's most of what telling a story through comics is. It's picking the most important moments in time and displaying them.
Yep. Because motion in comics happens in the gutters.
Yes.
So, um,
yeah, between each panel, motion has happened.
yes.
And it can be billions of years going by, or it can be a millisecond going by. And you have to determine, like, what is important, what gets cut out. Do you need a billion years to go by? Or is each second of this important? Like, you can create a sense of, like, time. Like, what is it? Like, if you show a bunch of panels, like 3 panels of someone tying their shoes, it makes that moment in time stretch and feel longer, and that's like how pace occurs. And you have then highlighted that this is a very important thing. So obviously, like, maybe in your comic you're not gonna worry about tying your shoes, but maybe setting something down is important, or like a reaction is important and needs multiple stills from the same thing. But also with comics, you have to think about the dynamic of the entire page and what that looks like. And that can be difficult.
Totally. I'd also say, yeah, just be very like clear about what you're showing, because when you have dialogue open to you, you can talk maybe about more of like a concept. Like, say you have like magic. Like, let's say you have this amulet that, if if you touch it, you turn into stone or something. I don't know.
Right.
So you can have characters talk about it without turning someone to stone if you have dialogue. But if you have no dialogue, you need to show, if I don't know, if one character's passing information to another one, like don't touch that, I'll turn you to stone, you need to be able to show that somehow. And you could do that a whole bunch of different ways. You could have like a what is it? Like a
What is it?
I'm trying to you could have like a thought bubble or something of like a diagram of someone being turned to stone with it. Or you could have them point to a statue of someone who was like touching the amulet and they've been turned to stone. Like,
Yeah.
something like that. You have to really think about the visuals and what you're telling with them.
Yeah. I always think of paneling and pages like what is that word? Sentences and paragraphs. Like, I always imagine like a page is a paragraph and each panel is a sentence. And within the panel, like all the elements are the words, you know. Like, it's not a direct thing, but like each panel has its own story and that all comes together in the form of a page.
Yes.
You know, like each of these has their own little arc to them that needs to be told, and you need to know like what needs to be said in each panel, and when that comes together, what does the entire page say? And you can do that without words.
Totally.
And you can do it with words, and sometimes you do it with both because you're doing it correctly.
That's the thing too. It's like, just because you do have dialogue at your disposal doesn't mean you shouldn't have the setup of this room full of statues of people who have touched the amulet.
Exactly. Then you can do double duty.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. I think that's good. I think that's a good answer. I've been trying to stretch things out a bit more so the clips are a bit longer.